context is what the state is trying to suggest supports their position. We'll carefully analyze that, and I think you can come to a different conclusion.
Hey guys, we're live again. Sorry about that.
At the end, Mark was found guilty of all charges.
Mr. Gooch, is there anything you want to say on your own behalf today
Mr.
before
Gooch.
sentence is pronounced?
That's such a diabolical
Good
thing.
afternoon, Your Honor. Firstly, I'd like to express my sincere condolences to the deceased family. And I'd also like to
Damn, that's
express
the
my
wrong word.
thankfulness for the love and support
Where the hell did I put my
of the family
pen?
in this difficult situation. Thank you.
This
Did I
case,
just knock it off? I did.
I've thought long and hard about
Hey,
it, and I think
J-Man,
this case
I am
is truly
partaking.
the most senseless case I have ever presided over. I have thought, since the defendant was found guilty by the jury, why he would have committed this crime, this horrific abduction and murder of an innocent person, that he didn't, I mean, even if he knew the person, it wouldn't be justified, but the fact that he didn't even know her is also so very senseless and really mind-boggling. It's just to wrap your head around what occurred in this case, it just makes no sense. Why one human being would do this to another human being.
Mark Gooch was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He also got 5
Bro
years
hates
for
his
kidnapping.
own name. Like, he has to.
Well, that sounds as delightful as a hot sauce enema. But this case,
The hot sauce enema?
bring
What
it
the
back around, does
fuck?
not make sense to me at all. The Gooch, he was driving hours and hours and hours to communities all around the area, to these Mennonite communities. I mean, like Farmington, from where he was based at Luke Air Force Base, was a 7-hour drive. Like, fucking hell, he must be pretty determined, you know, to go there to surveil and hope you're gonna get lucky and find someone. But that's even less mattering to me than why. I feel like we're not getting the full story here from Mark, and his childhood growing up in that community. Like, maybe something worse must have happened to try to make him hold on to this for so many years, to the point where he would brutally kidnap and murder an innocent woman simply because she was a member of that community, and he was trying to, like, he was surveilling them. He was going to do it to somebody. Unfortunately, it was Sasha. Like, your childhood just being difficult and restrictive, that's, most of the world will be driven to kill then if that's, you know, what caused him to do it.
Hey. Yeah, he's a jackass. What's up, Pog Kong? He's real.
There must have been some serious trauma that's never been uncovered, you know, that's never been delved into, about what happened to him that would drive him to this. I mean, let me know your thoughts, as always. But at the end of the day, I don't really give a shit, because of what he did to, you know, this lovely innocent woman, because he is a fucking gooch.
He's a fucking gooch. Yeah.
Hey guys, Future Mike here, just popping in to say hello. Hello. And to let you know of a few small changes that are coming for that chapter, what I like to call the next chapter of that chapter. Namely, from next week, that chapter will be a 1 video a week sort of dealio. Now, I hear you barking, big dog, I know, but it's for good reason. Really, really good reason, which I'll get into now. It really means I'll be able to spend a lot more time on videos, so in the future expect longer, bigger, better content to come from me to you. Don't worry guys, I'm not going anywhere. I just want to spend a little bit more time per video. I don't know if many of you guys know that chapter is pretty much just me. I sometimes get help on research, but I don't have any help doing anything else. So that chapter is really just a one-horse show. So I would just rather spend more time per video, and making them, you know, them longer, putting more research into them, so, you know, you can expect longer videos to come. It may not be on a Tuesday at 8, or Tuesday at 3 EST, or Friday at 3 EST, or 8 my time, but it will be every week, so just to let you know. But that's not all. I have also been working on a secret project, what I'm calling Project X. And it's coming soon. I don't really want to tell you
Good,
when,
so I
because
start
it's
watching
so
him and then
I'm
he
not gonna give you false info,
fucking
but it's something I've been working on for a
gets
couple of
it.
months. Expect
You
it
call it
in the
continuous
next couple of
talking,
months,
basically.
and it's something I'm super, super excited about. So, just because that chapter is going to one video a week, that doesn't mean there will only be one that chapter thing a week. So look forward to that. I'll tell you more. I'll tell you more when I know more. But for now, thank you as always for the amazing support you guys have given me for 5 years now, if you can believe that. I started that chapter in 2017, and now it's 2022. I'm living in the future, guys. We're all living in the future. Back to old Mike. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this solo video with Misha. It means a lot, so I really do appreciate it. Thank you for giving me your time. Sinead, I'll see you as always real soon in the next old video, which will be in a couple of days. You know yourself. So here, go on. Take care of yourselves as always, because I love you. Mike out.
Oh, guys, we're gonna be modding a few new people. Just want to let everyone know, we're gonna be unmodding a few people and remodding and modding a few new people.
Heart's still pumping. Robbie! Robbie!
So that'll be something that happens.
Oh God, no.
Tuesday. A 5-minute phone call had just ended.
I feel you, J-Man. Hey, can somebody post my link on the Discord? Honk honk, I'm not gonna make you mod. I love this new tripod. It's dope as fuck. So what should we listen to, you guys? So Eric was supposed to come back, Zach was supposed to come back. Wait, can somebody please post my Discord link or my stream link in the Discord? There, I just posted that, but I don't have the link to post it. BMW model? What? Exactly, J-Man. I'm really not gonna mod you. It's so weird when people don't take me seriously. Okay, let's play another video. Honk honk. You're not gonna be modded. Do it, J-Man. Time him out for 30 minutes. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Hang on, I am starting a poll though, Hong Kong. There we go. I started a poll. Everybody go vote in the poll. Yes, I was focused in writing in the poll. Don't judge me. Hong Kong's so salty. I put that. Everybody vote in the poll. Everybody is rooting for Hong Kong. I'm not being mean. I always pick on him. You heard my stomach? Did it? I don't know. Maybe you did. I didn't even notice. I'm only doing it because he's trying to pressure me into making him a mod. Hong Kong's getting on all of his fake accounts right now. Just to vote in this poll. Thank you, Liv. That's very sweet of you. Honk boy is what made me laugh. Guys, make sure to hit that like button.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, I have a story for you. It's a story that's about fathers and sons. It's about family. Well, it's about one family in particular, and it's about how the men in that family all shared a particular trait. Love of killing, really. No two ways about it. The Weaver family wove a web of lies, of deceit, of just stalking
The
those
Weaver
around them,
family
no matter
wove
who
a
they were
web of
related to or
lies.
close with. If you were in their circle, you were going to get scary cat eyes, my friends. In California and Oregon, a grandfather, father, and son would commit horrid atrocities. This story begins with one girl going missing, a month later her friend disappearing also, and then an investigation into a man who has a dirty family background, namely a father who possibly left up to 26 bodies in his wake as he worked as a truck driver.
Wow.
Was it due to, being raised by a killer, a possible serial killer, or was it just, in their nature and they were going to turn out that way no matter what? I'll leave it up to you to debate that one. But, to debate it, we gotta go through it, and that means let's give it a go.
It is a cringe act to ask repeatedly. It is. Did you actually time him out? Because he hasn't been in here since I said that.
Just to the south of Portland. It's a small city.
You did.
40,000 people living there. It was once known for forestry, and now
Yeah,
pretty much just as a suburb of Portland. And it was there that, in the year 2002, Ashley Pond and Miranda Gaddis lived and went to school.
There. Hong Kong, you'll be back in 10 seconds.
Ashley was 12 years of age, close friends with 13-year-old Miranda Gaddis, and another young girl.
Hey, I had a close friend named Miranda when I was a little girl.
They were like the three best friends that anyone could have. They were all neighbors. They all lived close together.
Yeah, that was
the same
me.
Dance team, and both Ashley and Miranda, they lived in the same apartment complex. That's Newell Creek Village Apartments on the southeast side of town. Ashley lived with her single mother and her three younger siblings. Her dad, a fella named David Pond, he had divorced Ashley's mother, Lori, a couple of years before. That divorce was quite contentious, in fact, when in the middle of it, David revealed he was not, in fact, Ashley Pond's biological father. That meant that David would have to pay less child support to Lori Pond. So not only did Ashley, it was revealed to Ashley that the man she thought was her dad this entire time, her entire life, was not actually her dad, but that it was revealed to her in such a way that he would have less to do with her and wouldn't have to pay to help support her. So that's, shitty. Pretty rough when you're just about to, enter your teenage years to learn that. And so Ashley learned that her actual biological father was a guy named Wesley Rutger Jr. And she began to get to know him as you would. She wanted to know her dad. Unfortunately, though, for Ashley, Wesley turned out to be a registered sex offender and an all-around piece of shit. After Wesley demanded sex from his 12-year-old daughter, Ashley realized that that was not a relationship worth pursuing. To put it mildly, I guess. Fuck this dude. But he did get his comeuppance in September 2001. He was indicted on felony counts relating to sexual abuse of a minor. That minor was Ashley Pond. He had been abusing her basically since he met her, his own daughter. And he was sentenced to a whopping 120 months probation.
Wow.
Yeah, his also piece of shit lawyer were able to undermine the credibility of a 12-year-old girl, so big whoop. So Ashley, to put it mildly, she had it rough growing up. The man she thought was her dad for most of her life turned out to not be her dad and also wanted nothing to do with her. And then the man who was actually her dad had molested her. So great stuff right there. Shite. And her mother, Lori, wasn't a saint either. She was a bit of a drunk and often got into domestics with others. A lot of things went wrong for Ashley Pond, who, despite having all this shit put on her. She did her utmost at school to be there for her friends, to participate in, after school activities, to engage with, the things that you would imagine would help you turn out and develop into a healthy person. She didn't really have much of a chance, and she still was able to do all those things. And all that takes us to the 9th of January 2002. That morning, Ashley was running late for school. She was sprinting for the bus just after 8 a.m. Now,
I hate hearing my name
running
in
for the
true
bus was
crime
actually pretty
cases.
normal for Ashley. She loved the L bed. It was less
You're
than a 10-minute walk
welcome.
from her home. She was out the door that day, but she would never, ever
Yeah,
walk
Eric's
back in
gonna.
the door. Just after 6
He's the
p.m., her mother,
only
Lori, expecting
head mod, and
Ashley
he's
to come
not
home,
here right now.
after dance practice, after school. She never came
And I
to that
told
door.
J-Man to time
Lori
you
called
out.
the school, worried about her daughter, at this stage.
You won't be able
And
to
then
do
she was
that.
informed
No,
by the
Eric.
school that Ashley
No,
never
you're
turned
not
up
his
at
bro.
all. She never even made it to the bus, just a couple of minutes, down the road from her house. So Lori, she then called the police.
Hi, how do I go about filing missing person? What's your daughter's name? My daughter's been missing since this morning. She would never run away, though. Okay, you don't think she'd ever run away? No, that's something. Okay, a little bit different then. How is she missing? Well, she left for school this morning, and I contacted all her friends, and none of them saw her at school. And she had dance after school. She wasn't at dance. So she's been missing since this morning. This is so out of character of her. She always calls and informs me of everything. Okay, we can officer on his way out there. Okay.
Now, Ashley wasn't the type to run away, and all her stuff remained in the home, her clothes and all that. The police searched her internet activity. They searched the neighborhood, the surrounding areas. No sign of young Ashley. In those couple of minutes from when she was running out the door to the bus, she just vanished. The police began to speculate that she had been abducted. The investigation would continue for weeks, but no leads ever cropped up. It was as if she vanished. Now, a man who lived just down the street was briefly questioned, and that man was Ward Weaver III. He was father of Mallory Weaver, who was close with both Ashley and Miranda. And as he lived just down the road, well, sometimes he gave Mallory rides to school, and sometimes Ashley and Miranda would tag along for those rides if they didn't want to get the bus. He was questioned. No, he hadn't driven anyone to school that morning. He was actually late leaving the house for work as his burglar alarm. It was on the fritz. The police then, they had a brief look around Ward Weaver's house. Didn't see anything out of the ordinary, and left it at that. Towards the end of January, the FBI became involved, handing out flyers, roadblocks, but nada. Ashley was gone. But here's one thing. Detectives investigating the mysterious disappearance of Ashley Pond learned that over the summer of 2001, Ashley had stayed with the Weavers. She had stayed with Ward Weaver and his
I don't know if
daughter,
I like
Mallory
hearing my
Weaver.
name
Now,
like that.
Ashley, she didn't exactly have the easiest home life. Mallory, was a good friend of hers, so she'd be happy to bunk with her, for a couple of months. And it, where Ashley's house was and where the Weaver's house was, within a stone's throw of each other. Now, Ashley would report to the police that Ward Weaver had tried to molest her. No charges would ever be filed in this case, and when Ward was questioned, he'd be like, no, not at all. I never touched her. I gave her a place to stay while she was having a rough time, at home, lads. I was looking out for, in fact, I'm kind of a hero. What's an attempted molestation in the grand scheme of things? And remember how Ashley Pond's father, Wesley, he got such a light sentence for, abusing her for 4 years? Well, it turned out that Ward Weaver helped him and testified on Wesley's behalf against Ashley Pond, saying,
Wow.
calling her a liar and saying she had also accused him of molesting her. Wow, shit really clumps together. And now she had disappeared.
Seems she's been kidnapped. Do they have a believe that happened already a friend or something? It's just really different and like that.
Her close friend Miranda did not have high hopes for her. What would be even more tragic is that soon after, Miranda herself would disappear.
Wow.
On the 8th of March 2002, almost exactly 2 months since Ashley Pond disappeared, 13-year-old Miranda Gaddis, she herself got up, for another day at school. Another day at school not knowing what had happened to her best friend. And in fact, that very day, the 8th of March, after school was to be a dance performance in hopes of raising money as a reward, to help find Ashley. Now, Miranda, much like Ashley, did not have a pleasant childhood. Growing up, her father, Jason Gaddis, was convicted of kidnapping and sexually abusing 2 girls. When he was arrested at their house, he tried to use Miranda as a shield. Then later, Miranda's mother, a woman named Michelle Duffy, she got involved with a guy named Brett McEnany. He was a child predator. He would be convicted, and Miranda placed into foster care for
So all these
and then
kids are
into
just
therapy.
getting touched.
She would eventually wind back
That's
with
so
her mother.
fucked, bro.
That morning, the 8th of March 2002, Miranda's mother, Michelle Duffy, she was out the door at about 7:30 a.m. for work, and then half an hour later, at around 8 a.m., that's when Miranda herself was out the door to get the bus, just a couple of minutes away. And she never made it. When Michelle learned that her daughter hadn't been in school that day, she reported her missing.
What's your home address? Where's she missing from?
14155 South Beaver Creek Road, number 201. The same address as on.
And what's your daughter's name?
Miranda Gaddis, Gaddis. And no one's talked to her or seen her.
And the investigation that had been winding down for Ashley sprang up for Miranda. And it didn't take a rocket scientist to realize that they were clearly related. 2 girls the same age, best friends, living in the same apartment complex, go missing on their way to the bus within 2 months of each other. They even looked alike. So you can imagine the absolute fear running through everyone who lived in that area. It's every parent's nightmare. The first time was a nightmare. Now it's happened twice. And the police once again knocked on Ward Weaver's door. See,
Just arrest the motherfucker.
She had been at the Weaver home, as it was Mallory Weaver's 13th birthday. And during that birthday party at the Weaver house, Miranda had said to another girl who was at the party, "Don't spend the night here." Miranda was saying, she had heard about Ashley accusing Ward of molesting her. Now, apparently when Ward heard this, he got very angry. Miranda, also just like Ashley, had gotten a ride, from time to time with Ward Weaver and Mallory to school. So the police rocked up to Ward's house saying, "Hey, did you give Miranda, a lift to school that day because she didn't make the bus?" And he would say, "No, I was home all morning because Mallory, my daughter, was sick. She was sick from school that day, so I was looking after her." Mallory was with her mother that day. It kind of seemed like all the roads were leading to the Weaver home. And the victims' families knew about him, knew what kind of man he was. They also noticed that after Miranda went missing, Ward Weaver got his teenage son, Francis Weaver, to help him pour cement in the back garden. You can see a tarp there in the background in this footage of Laurie Pond. Laurie was constantly telling the police to go in there, even going so far as to leave signs out front reading, "Dig me up." FBI dogs also became interested in the Weaver home, but nothing was found. Ward did polygraphs, which he failed. But police harassment, you guys, they're tapping my phones, they're trying to pin it all on me. And months went by with nothing found on either Ashley nor Miranda. In July of 2002, Ward Weaver III gave an interview to a local news station, hoping to clear his name, shooting the shit. He was mad to yap away. Did it work? Have a look.
They said the school bus stop, Ashley and Miranda never made it to the mornings they vanished up the hill from the apartment complex where they lived and right outside the home of Ward Weaver. The girls were both friends with Weaver's daughter. They were on the dance team at school with her, and both had spent nights at his home.
You could not walk anywhere in my front room without stepping on a body. They are hassling my family, my friends. They are saying that I am the #1 suspect.
He told me he flunked 2 polygraph tests, but also walked me through his home to show he had nothing to hide.
They want to put me on their list of suspects. Fine. I live right here in the middle of all this mess. Getting up at 8, my daughter waking me up at 8. I'd watch her catch the bus, which comes at 8:20. Get in the shower. And it's a 12-minute drive from Clackamas, so from here to Clackamas, if I don't hit any traffic down here at this light. So, no, I was here, but time frame doesn't make anything feasible.
He openly discusses Ashley's allegations against him.
Ashley has this habit: if she gets in trouble by someone, she'll make accusations against that person. And the first time that I actually had to come down on her about her mouth, she did just that. She made accusations that I had molested her. I know Ashley ran away, and the fact that the FBI is throwing both of these cases, into someone took them both, it's like, okay, fine, I don't see it that way, and I would really not like to think that someone took Miranda. Either girl, actually, but I know, well, I don't have anything to do with what's going on, but my gut instinct is Ashley's off somewhere where she would rather be than home. I kept tabs on them when they were here, just because, I'm a parent, I'm responsible because they're here.
But where were the girls? Now, let's talk about
Guilty. He sounded guilty just by talking like that.
The troubles of the Weavers stretch back quite some time to a woman named Dorothy Weaver back in the day, and she was Ward Weaver III's his grandmother.
The turd. I love the way he says that.
Psychopath.
That's what I just call
She
it.
hated men. Even though she had sons, she was not very kind to them and would say that she wanted to cut the dick off all men. Cut the dicks
Wow.
off. Okay. Right. One of Dorothy Weaver's sons was named Ward Weaver Jr. Now, it's a little confusing because you have Ward Weaver Jr. and then his son, Ward Weaver III. So Ward Weaver Jr., this is a fucking tongue twister. I can't even say that. So Ward Weaver Jr., I'm going to call him Pete Weaver because he often went by his middle name, Pete. So Pete Weaver is this asshole's dad.
Pete Weaver, that's crazy word.
So don't worry about it. Pete Weaver was a shitty kid with a shitty childhood. He would torture animals, he would abuse cats, and he would sexually abuse his own sister. He didn't grow up to be any better. He would go on to be a long-haul truck driver in California, so he was away from his own family for quite some time. Pete Weaver married a woman named Trish, and he would have 3 kids, one being Ward Weaver III, Teresa, and Tammy. Pete Weaver was eventually drafted and sent to Vietnam. Trish and Pete would later divorce, and she would find herself and her children ending up with a drinker named Bob Budrow. Bob Budrow would beat the ever-living shit out of Trish's kids, Ward Weaver III, Teresa, and Tammy. And I'm just kind of realizing now that everybody in this story just kind of sucks. And Ward III didn't have a happy childhood. When he was 4 years old, he fell out of a second-floor window. Now, Bob, he would later work as a docker. He worked down the docks, and he would often take young Ward Weaver with him. And Trish would later suspect there was something going on when Bob would take her son, and so she eventually put an end to it, but she would say that after, her son was never the same. Ward became a bully to his half-brother, Robert Budrow, beating him up. He was also cruel to his own younger siblings. In 1981, Ward was accused of raping a relative, but charges were never pressed. Never pressed because Ward Weaver III then ran off to join the Navy, and it was, quote, useless to pursue the abuse charges, leaving him friggin' free to do it again. Like, round of applause there, lads. Another job well done. Ward III would work as a cook aboard an aircraft carrier docked in the Philippines, and there he met a young Filipino woman named Maria Stout. Ward would receive an other than honorable discharge for leaving his post whenever he felt like it and bring Maria back to Portland. So an other than honorable discharge, by the way, it's not as bad as a dishonorable discharge, but it's still not a good look. But you can still apply for benefits and so on. And the police would be called to Ward and Maria's house on more than one occasion for, you guessed it, abuse. Ward was extremely controlling of Maria, and he would often beat her up. In fact, when Maria wanted to press charges against her husband, Trish, Ward's mother, she would come in and be like, "Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't." They later moved to Bakersfield, California, and would have 3 kids. Frances, the oldest, and then 2 others. Now, in the meantime, Ward Weaver III's father, Pete Weaver, would turn out to be an absolute psychopath. In 1978, Pete Weaver was sent to prison for 1.5 years for rape. Then, in 1981, Pete picked up 2 runaways. He arranged for a friend to shoot the boy in the head and then repeatedly raped the girl. He was sentenced to 41 years for that. While serving those 41 years, he boasted to another inmate about more crimes he had committed. Pete did, namely, a double homicide. In 1981, while working as a long-distance truck driver, which is a serial killer speciality, he came across a young couple, 23-year-old Barbara Lavoie and 18-year-old Robert Radford, stranded in the Mojave Desert. He pulled over to help them out. The car had broken down.
I don't know.
And then he walked to the back of his own truck and asked
I'm
Robert
gonna
to
restart the
stop.
live.
Give me a
Hey,
hand.
J-Man, can you
And
come to a
then
new
he
one?
struck Robert over
If I
the head
restart,
with a
can you come
metal
back
pipe,
since
put
you've been
Robert's
my
body
only
in
mod
the back of
here?
his truck, and then
Plus,
repeatedly
you can
sexually
smoke
assaulted
stuff out.
Barbara and took her with him. He took the body of Robert and Barbara back to his house. He took Barbara into his garden and tied her
Okay,
up,
I'm gonna
tied her
restart
to
right
a
away,
tree
okay?
outside, at which point she fought
And
back.
here we
She
go. Come back
almost
to the
bit